welcome to Craic News. Today we have an awesome guest that came the whole way on his camper. It's Kegs. How you doing?
What's the crack? How are you?
I'm all good. And do you know what I realised as I'm talking out loud? I just said Kegs. And you went sober, right?
Yeah, I have.
But your name is Kegs.
My nickname is Kegs. My real name is Cathair.
But Kegs and like that's
beer
filled
kegs.
with alcohol.
Yeah.
So every time you hear your name, you're reminded of alcohol, basically.
I actually got nicknamed that whenever I was doing my first season in Apple when I was like 18 because English people just can't say Cathair.
Oh,
so
okay.
I got nicknamed Kegs and it kind of stuck for ages. But I think I've slowly been drifting back to Cathair in the past year or
Okay,
so.
I was like, was he that much of an alcoholic? He was just like, oh.
It actually had nothing to do
really?
with beer kegs. They basically asked me to give them a nickname to call me because they couldn't say my real name.
Okay.
And then I said Cax because a few boys in school call me Cax. And then this Geordie girl just decided Cax was Kegs, and then Kegs it is.
Like Cax is in like pull your Cax down.
I don't know. It's just like because my name's Cathair Curran, so it's kind of just like
okay.
putting it all together.
Cool. So we'll get stuck in. The main things that I know about you is that you get a heart transplant.
Yeah.
That you went sober.
Right.
And then you got a campervan. Right. so what one of those do you reckon changed your life the most?
Probably going sober.
Going sober. Okay. I was hoping you would say that.
I would say that probably
Yeah.
was the most, to be fair.
Okay, cool. And how long have you been sober for now?
19 months.
19 months?
Aye.
Okay. I've been sober 8 years. Fuck
you.
you.
Fair dues.
I like hearing about people themselves when they've went sober.
Yeah.
So what was it that made you go sober? What I've heard from yourself is that you got fired from a cruise ship. Was that all part of it? Was that part of the?
No, that was a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
That was a long time ago.
I heard it was from you. You were trying to cut off your ear or something.
I got my ear chopped in half in Australia. Yeah, on the cruise ship.
You just listened to Coldplay or something, and you were like, "This is fucking terrible."
It was a long story. Basically, my bed got broke by my roommate when he had really bad night terrors. He would wake up in the middle of the night like screaming and stuff, and he like broke my bed one night. I was like, "What's going on?" And then a couple of nights later, I came in, and the crew bar was very cheap, so like we all were getting drunk in the crew bar, and then I don't know, I came into the bedroom steaming, and the bed like coped, and it managed me getting my ear chopped in half. But that's
quite the jump there.
Yeah,
like,
it was a messy night, but I was happy I was drunk when it happened because I actually didn't really feel the pain, to be fair.
Did you feel it the next morning?
Yeah, definitely. They didn't even give me the day off.
Oh really?
Oh no, it did. They might have given me like one day off.
So it back up again. You're straight back in.
Yeah, straight back in.
Because what was it made you go sober? Was it like it was a curiosity thing, and also like was it? Did you mean to go sober for such a long time, or were you like, I'll do 1 month?
So it's been a journey, to be fair. I think. So I got diagnosed with ADHD probably 2 years ago, and as someone with ADHD, you hyper focus on things about yourself. So I started learning loads about it, and everything was like ADHD and alcohol do not mix.
Yeah.
And then everything started clicking and making sense because I had been a party boy from the age of 15. So for like years and years and years, I was literally just like partying nonstop, and like I was like. But basically got a job in like a corporate company. It was a really good job, a really good opportunity, but I was just in the Holy Lands partying every single night, going straight from the party into an office with like businessmen in suits.
It wasn't working from home, was it?
No, it was like going into the office, stinking of drinking cigarettes.
I'm relating so hard. By the way, this is like the same story. That's why I wanted to hear from you. I was like, I remember going out it was just Primark, like, but I remember going in from Primark and people I didn't know why I was getting such dirty looks. Yeah. And then one person came over and he was like, "Mate, you fucking reek of vodka," and I was like, "Oh shit." Yeah,
it's not good. So I was basically living like a crazy student lifestyle, but working like a full-time corporate job. That eventually ended up me getting sacked, kicked out of uni because it was an apprenticeship. And from then I still loved to party. So to be fair, my mental health over those years was really poor, and I was turning to alcohol to like run away from how I was feeling, and everything in my life wasn't great, and I had like a rock bottom moment, and I was just like, "Feck this, I'm out of here." So I ended up getting a job in Magaluf.
Oh, Magaluf!
Because I still loved to party. Like I had already done before I went to the corporate job. I worked in Napa, and then I done a season in Marbella. Like I just loved the party. I seen that
you travelled all around, and you were partying for quite a couple of years, wasn't it?
Years, So I literally went from like Magaluf to the cruise ship, which I got sacked and kicked off from being too drunk. Then I got a job at Ibiza, and then it was like a ski season, and I was drinking all the time. Then it was like spring break Miami, and it was like all these different party places. I just kept going around and around.
At least it feels like if you've went sober, like you're not looking back with any regrets. Like I went full fucking party.
To be fair, I think I have 3 different versions of myself, as in like the bad mental health version when I drank, which was to like run away from stuff. But then I had a period where I actually was loving life, and I was just like enjoying the party so much. But I think then in Ibiza 2019, I had a bit of like a spiritual awakening sort of thing. And from then I started sort of looking at like self-help podcasts, and I started reading books, and I started going on that journey of like really just learning about myself and sort of loving and accepting different parts of myself, and started doing a lot of inner work basically. And from then I started traveling to all these sort of like more like
it was like India and stuff, wasn't it?
It was like India and Thailand and Mexico.
It feels like whatever you do, you give like 200%. And I love your videos. I've seen like your breathwork retreats, and you go like on hikes. Yeah. And I was like, this guy is giving it like stacks. Imagine him when he was drinking. He must have been just partying. Like
I couldn't stop. That was my problem. Like I would have been out, and I could have been out for days. I didn't know when to call it a night, and I was always the last man standing. But then as I sort of went on that journey, like in like Thailand and places like that, I started trying out sobriety. Actually, you know what it was as well? I started like doing ecstatic dancing, and I started realizing I actually just love to go out and dance, and that's where I get enjoyment and stuff from that.
It's class, because I've seen you went to festivals and you're doing all these dance. Did you feel self-conscious like doing all this dancing while you were sober, or did it just come out of you like?
I think not in recent years. I think I started doing ecstatic dancing when I was traveling, and I realized that really made me feel, it got me out of my head. So when I'm ecstatic dancing, I don't think about what all the people are thinking of me.
Especially with ADHD, like you're constantly moving. And
It's like it's my most powerful form of meditation, I would say. But it really just makes me feel confident in my body, and I'm just in the moment and enjoying it. And I don't care what anyone else is thinking, because I'm fucking having a great time.
Okay, cool.
So I started. When I first started ecstatic dancing, I was very in my head. Like I started thinking, oh my god, everyone's judging me. Oh my god, do I look weird? Blah blah. But once you get over that, it's grand. So because I was doing that, I started trying out sobriety, because I was enjoying life, like living in Thailand and India. And
so you started the dancing before you went sober? You were doing it?
Okay. And I basically had like a couple of months sober, a couple of months partying, a couple of months sober. And I think I was sober living in Thailand. And then I moved back to Ireland, and of course when I moved back to Ireland I got sucked back into Kegs. I feel like Kegs and Cathair are like, Kegs is like the party boy, Cathair is like more like wholesome vibes.
It's funny because I used to have the exact same thing. People used to call me, like, my name's James Downey, but whenever I was out drinking again, it was Jimmy D. I was like,
really?
I was like, people were like, oh, it's like a couple of drinks in, like, there's Jimmy D.
Jimmy D's out tonight. That was like maybe Kegs and Cathair. I actually, this is so random, I watched an episode of Geordie Shore recently, and like I haven't seen that show in like
I forgot that existed.
And Gaz is basically back in it. He was like, Gaz was like the crazy party boy, whereas Gary's like wholesome dad. I was like, that's the kind of like me. But so moved back to Ireland, got sucked back into partying, and then I was like partying, and then I went sober again, and then it was like brat summer, so I was partying like crazy. And after that summer, I just had a big moment where I was just like, I actually don't love. I already started learning about ADHD and stuff. And I realized that like my ADHD symptoms get way worse every time I party. I don't want to stop partying, and then I also get quick dopamine hits from like junk food or porn, or I just have no motivation to do anything. And I really want to do well for myself. Like I want to build my business and succeed in whatever I'm doing. And when I'm drinking, I just don't do fuck all. So I was just like, I'm done. And
it's cool like hearing that because I was different. I went sober, and then I was kind of afraid to start drinking again. I was like, if I start drinking again, do you ever see like when you do like 3 or 4 months? I kind of felt like I was like, okay, I've got 4 months. If I start drinking again, I don't think I could do 4 months. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, I've built up 4 months. I don't think I go back. But hearing you doing like sort of sober curious, and then back, and then sober, and back to being sober, and then back. It's cool that you can compare the both. And then go, no, actually prefer like the sober life.
I actually, that's what I was doing. I was sort of testing it out, but I wasn't aware that I was doing. I was like, I'm actually just done with drink for a while, and then I would go back on it, and I would, don't get me wrong, I fucking loved the party. Like I loved it.
That's what I always say, that I go to someone goes like, why did you go sober? And I go, see, 9 out of 10 times I was having the best crack. But I just knew there was going to be that one time like I got arrested or I ended up in hospital, and I was like, but 9 times out of 10 I loved it. But I just knew I couldn't. Every 10 times something bad was going to happen. I just couldn't be arsed with it anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
What made you go sober then? Because of that?
Well, I ended up going to the hospital. Like I chipped like 2 of my front teeth were chipped and stuff. I had to get fit, and I was like, and then I ended up. I was a couple of times woke up in hospital. Ended up in a holding cell, walking about naked. Right. So it was just like all these stuff like that was happening, and the teeth thing. I was just like, see if I keep this up, I don't want to be one of like losing half my teeth. You know what I mean?
You end up doing something worse.
I know exactly, and I was like picked up by an ambulance in the street. Just it wasn't even stuff. Some people have real horror stories when you listen to people, but it was just really daft, stupid stuff like that. Where I was like, see if this keeps building up, like I'm just gonna be a wee hottie. Like you know what I mean?
How old are you?
28 years. I'm 32, so around 25, 26.
Okay, yeah. Not too bad.
So no, it's been great. It's been really, really good.
Yeah.
And actually, it's interesting because you're saying about partying and you're going out in festivals and you're still dancing and stuff. But my main job's playing music in the bars, and on part time I do comedy in the bars. So I'm in bars 6 times a week.
Fair.
I know. And that
takes balls.
Yeah. And I was like, I wonder if you get this, but when you're at festivals, I forget, and this is going to sound like I'm making up lies, right? I forget people get drunk.
Yeah.
So people like the night will start off, I'm playing a bit of music and just chatting to people, and they'll be normal. And at the end, they're like, "You're amazing, you're this," and I'm walking away going like, "They're the nicest people I've ever met. Why are people so open?" And I remember like saying this to my girlfriend and stuff, and she was like, "Because they're fucking steaming." I was like, "Shit, fuck's sake!" I was taking them like for face value, like seeing them the next day and all, being like, "All right, how's it going?" They couldn't even fucking remember me and stuff. I was like,
Fair. No, I think I definitely notice people are drunk.
Okay.
When I'm on like nights out and like bars and clubs and stuff. Festivals, not so much. I think whenever I went sober, I actually started going to like sober festivals and events on my own, and then I actually ended up becoming friends with other people who are also sober.
Oh, cool.
So like last summer I went to like tons of festivals, but my whole group, none of us drank.
Oh, really?
So we're all sober together. So it was like you don't even think about other people. And like when I'm at big festivals and stuff, I sort of, if I see people like absolutely off their faces on drugs, I'm like, run. I don't want to be near that.
Class. Well, cool. That sounds class, and I'm really happy that you're buzzing sober. It's been inspiring, like watching you on TikTok.
I actually feel like I might be more crack sober. I don't know, I feel like because I'm enjoying myself more, because I'm actually in the moment, and like actually it depends. Obviously some nights out I'm like, I actually can't deal with this, it's very overwhelming, so I just jump in my car and drive home. But like at the festivals I'm loving it.
I know you are. I've seen it, but it looks amazing. But you're talking about jumping into your van. I want to talk about it because we have kind of similar stories, not like exactly the same, but I also had a camper van too.
Oh, nice.
And you seem to be loving life in your camper.
Yeah.
The difference is I hated my camper van so much. Yeah. My dad got a camper.
Yeah.
And so he was like a bit of the inspiration. He lives in it, like same as yourself.
Yeah.
And he loves it so much. And I was like, oh, that sounds like good crack. I'll get it. But mine was like really, really compact.
Okay, yeah.
And this is going to sound very childish, like I'm trying to be funny, but this is true. Me and my partner stayed in it, and she got a coli. Okay. So she had like a really bad food poisoning, and she kept farting like all night, and it was like a wee hot box. And I like usually like farts I'm okay with, and unfortunately that's funny, but it was rotten. I was nearly throwing up, and I was like, I can't stay in this.
Oh yeah, that sounds grim. That does sound grim.
Yeah. But what about you? You've got your camper, and how's camping life been?
So I've had it now for a year. I had the big green one.
Yeah.
I loved it, to be fair. I feel like I've actually got it up as a competition at the moment, so I've only got it for another couple of weeks. But I feel like it's not going to be the end of van life. I think I was living in it full time, basically traveling around, going to festivals, exploring the country, and I was having a ball, like so much fun. That was probably, I'm not gonna lie, having the van that year was probably the best year of my life.
Oh, class. Okay.
But I had no structure, no routine. I wasn't gymming. I wasn't like eating healthy. I was just like very free spirited all over the place. But something has switched over the past while where I'm like really loving structure and routine and going to the gym and getting work done. I'm building my business right now, and I'm like really focused on stuff like that. So living in the van just doesn't align with me right now. I think I want to move to like a city and just really focus on business. And
so where are you? Because you were saying it took you a wee while to come up. Where are you living now?
I'm at home at the minute. I'm in Loch McCrory in County Tyrone.
Oh, class! Very nice.
Just outside Omagh.
It's
a lovely wee village. So yeah, I love being home, to be fair.
And so you're talking about ADHD. Have you been officially diagnosed?
Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't. People always tell me I have ADHD. Yeah. And I feel like a part of that, like, I feel like I have to get out of my room a lot of the time. Like if I'm in my room in my house, I'm like, fuck, I need to go downstairs and just sit there for a second. If I'm like struggling to concentrate on work, I'm like, I need to go and walk to the cafe and then come back and stuff like that. But how do you feel like that? Did you think like ADHD and a camper life was a good match? Or were you sometimes being like, I suppose you could just go outside, but you couldn't really jump from room to room? Did you feel like
so I think we had quite a nice summer last year, and also the friends that I met also were in van life. So like
your friends sound fucking class. Like we all the same ones that went to the festival.
Yeah. So we all sort of had vans. We all sort of do social media. We all sort of just bopped about and had the crack. Like I feel like most of the year I was sort of just out and about. To be fair, if it was like really rainy and I was on my own, I was sort of like to get into cafes and stuff. That sort of way. But I never really, I don't know, I feel like I wasn't really trapped at it.
Anyway. And what about dating life? If you were like dating someone or you were out meeting someone, did they know you had a van, or were you like, come back to mine, and then it was a van? Were they a bit like, what?
I did say that a few times. I was like, it'd be funny if I'm in the club here and like, do you want to come back to mine? And my mine's is in the car park, like.
I think it sounds like one of those, like, get in the back of the van. Sorry. And then my dad's one, he had like, he had a double bed. He has two double beds. A double bed that folds out at the back, and then you climb up a ladder. Okay. There's a second double bed. But his bathroom...
It must have been a big one.
Yeah, he has a really big one, yeah. But his bathroom like isn't a separate room.
Okay.
It's at the back of the bed. So if you ever stayed over and you wake up in the middle of the night, he's like half covered, but you can just see his wee head popping out.
Nice.
But was that the way yours was?
Mine's is like my bathroom's like actually you go into the bathroom, it's like open, but
I was gonna say a first date would be like pretty awkward if you like you woke up halfway through the night and just saw someone taking a crap. Like, you know?
To be fair, having the van was actually good for dating. I've been dating someone now for like 2-3 months.
Okay.
And we both live at home with their parents, so having the van has been like really handy. Like I've been away every weekend since.
That sounds classic.
Dating them because you can go every date is going to be different in different locations because you've got the van. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So we're an adventure every weekend.
And a lot cheaper as well. Instead of being like, do you want to go away?
So much cheaper.
And get a hotel or whatever.
Yeah.
So your van's up on a competition. How can people get in? Like,
so until the 5th of May, you can buy a ticket for like a $5. It's kegscompetition.com.
I might apply. I might give it a
yeah. You get
people will be like,
it's
a fucking fix. Anyway, you want to talk about, are you okay talking about ADHD and stuff?
Yeah.
Did you feel like being officially diagnosed with ADHD helped? And did you go on medication or anything?
So yeah, I think it definitely helped me just because I basically started seeing people talking about ADHD online, and everything you said, I was like, that makes a lot of sense for me. And anytime I mentioned it to my family, they're like, oh my God, fuck up. Like,
really?
Because I think they're just like thinking that I wanted to say that I have something or something.
Okay. Mine's are the opposite.
Really?
Mine's are like, you have it. And then in my head, I'm like, because I accepted it, I'm like, probably do.
Yeah.
But then they're like, I'm like, but you shouldn't. Like, I get slagged all the time. Like, you don't slag someone if they have depression or if they have bipolar.
I think ADHD can be a good thing as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
But then I was like learning loads about it. I was like, oh my God, I definitely have this. And then I also feel like because I got so hyper focused on learning about it, I also wanted to speak about it online. I was like, I can't fucking come online and speak about it if I don't actually have a diagnosis. Do you know what I mean? And then when I actually did get diagnosed, and then I started doing more research, everything started making sense. And I feel like it actually helped me on my own personal healing journey as well.
Okay.
Because a big part of ADHD for me is obviously different for everyone. Is a thing called RSD, which is rejection sensitivity dysphoria.
Yeah.
And that has honestly had the biggest negative effect on my life since I was maybe like a teenager, maybe even younger.
See, when you were talking about in school and stuff, you said like, did you have a hard time in school, or were you just always getting drunk in school? Or
I was the last few years in school. I definitely had a really hard time.
Okay.
And I think a massive part of that was the rejection sensitivity dysphoria. I just basically got in my head that everyone hated me. Everyone was talking about me. I didn't want to go to school. I used to hide in Marks and Spencer's toilets like every day.
That's a nice toilet to hide in, to be honest with you.
So I was just basically, and that was a big part of their RSD. And then over the years, anytime I feel any perceived rejection from like family or friends or people, even people online, I've went through waves of like really not caring about people online. But sometimes, like even recently, I've been like, fuck, every sort of message or comment getting to me, and it's like the RSD. It's because I'm not regulating my nervous system enough.
Okay.
So because I learnt about RSD and ADHD, then I've learned how to regulate it.
Right. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we'll wrap up. We only have a few minutes left, so we'll wrap up with her. I want to hear about your hair journey. Yeah. Right. So you went and get a hair transplant, and it feels like you're a different man afterwards. I feel like you got new confidence. Yeah. Would you recommend going on? Where'd you go? Turkey, was it?
So I went to Istanbul. Yeah.
Cool.
I would definitely recommend it if you really wanted to get a hair transplant for sure. I really had a bad hairline my whole life. Literally never had a good hairline. And then because I tried to cover it up so much, it actually ended up damaging my hair, which made it lose a lot of hair really fast.
Was that like combing it, or was that like dyeing it? Or
I was like, from like maybe the age of like 13 or 14, I was like curling it to make the big long fringe, curling it, and then hairspraying it.
I just picture like a Trump impersonation right there, all blowing up.
It was a mad hairstyle, to be fair, but I was doing that for years, and then I eventually started spray painting where the hair had fallen out, like basically with root spray.
Banksy over here.
And to be fair, that actually blew up my social media.
Oh really? Okay.
And like from that then is how I ended up getting the hair transplant collab. So I ended up like basically getting paid for the hair transplant.
Oh really?
Which was great. Yeah.
Oh, class. Yeah.
So the hair transplant, I went to them guys because other sort of people that I'd be friendly with had went to them as well, and they recommended them a lot.
Cool.
So I ended up getting it done. That's over 4 years ago now.
And were you like, if I was to get any sort of, even if it was teeth or hair over in Turkey and stuff, I'd be freaking out in case it was wrong. Like something happened, and it was like. So how did you like go about going like? Were you scared for a start? And how did you go about going like? This is the right place. It's not like a dodgy place.
I just basically was chatting to them, and also I had friends. I had friends who had already went that I trusted, so they had recommended, and they were like, "No, these guys are like top notch." Yeah. And also the guys that I went to, I think someone told me that they ended up, they're that good that they train other people around the world to do it.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're great. And I also since then there's been literally like hundreds of people have messaged me and went through the same company, and I've never heard one person complain about them.
If you ever start going bald, I'll have to.
I also have a discount code, so if anyone if anyone wants a hair transplant, hit me up.
Okay, I was going to say, so we went through Sobriety, that was cool. Campervan, ADHD, and hair transplant. That was great hearing about that.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? And you were talking about people DMing you. Where can they find you on TikTok and social media? And if they want to go on these retreats with you as well.
Okay, yes. So my socials is Kegs97. Still haven't changed that. And my business is the Seer Life. So we have like group trips abroad. We have retreats and day adventures, so like hiking or breathwork or all that there sort of stuff. Just exploring Ireland, having the crack.
Yeah. Is there like a website for that? Or is it just
there is a website, theseerlife.com, but it's on my Instagram anyway.
Okay, cool.
So if you fancy joining any retreats, give me a message. And yeah, also if you fancy hair transplant, give me a message, I guess.
You'll do it personally.
And enter my van competition. All the plugs at once.
Her plugs as well.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for coming on Craic News. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
And hopefully I'll be entering the competition and winning your van.
Cheers. Woo.